Hello students of class 10th. Today we are going to continue with a chapter 3, and that is money and credit, as we have already started this chapter. In this chapter, in the beginning, we discussed about money as a medium of exchange. In that, first of all, we discussed about barter system. Now what is barter system? In barter system, when a person gives good and in exchange he used to take goods, or a person used to give goods and in exchange he used to take services. So this is what we called barter system. Okay, so there were some demerits of barter system. What was that? Suppose if I am carrying wheat with me and in exchange I want rice, and at the same time some other person is carrying rice with him to exchange with maize. Okay, and if these two persons meet together, they will not be able to exchange their goods with each other, because what they both want, their demands are different. First person wants to give wheat and the second person wants maize. One factor is common between both of them, and that is rice, but still this exchange will not take place. So this is called double coincidence of wants. There were many other demerits of barter system, like for example you can say storage value. Okay, that was one very big problem. Anyhow, so double coincidence of want was one of the demerits due to which barter system failed. When there were very less people, when population was less, when market area was small, when demands were less, at that time barter system was prevailing and it was working successfully. But as this trade started expanding, as we started trading, or you can say exchanging goods and services from one, not from one village to another village, but from one state to another state, slowly from one country to another country, and then further from Asia to Europe and so on. Okay, so now we are selling our goods all over the world. So that's why this barter system is not sufficient enough. Then a new system was introduced, and that was money. Okay, money means you can say coins or you can say paper money. So these are the forms of money. So this is the system which we are using at present. But as you see that now government is insisting more to go for digital payments or digital receipts, and that is what we are doing today in this situation of coronavirus. Okay, COVID-19, in this pandemic, what are we doing? Okay, we are trying to avoid to take notes or coins. The reason is very simple. If a person is suffering from coronavirus and if he sneezed in his hand, okay, and with the same hand if he takes out this currency and if he gives to us, so this disease will easily get transmitted from one person to another person. So dear students, I suggest you, it is better to not to take currency notes from an outsider, from an unknown person, or from even known person also, you know, because anyone can be infected with the same disease. So it is better to go for online payments. Okay, nowadays there are certain payment gateways available to us, for example Paytm, PhonePe, Google Pay, and many other are there. Fine, so we can go for online payments and we can do this. Now there are some more big benefits of this. Suppose if we are having this note with us, 100 rupees note, 500 rupees note with us, okay, and for example this Raksha Bandhan is about to come. If you purchased some Rakhis and you gave 500 rupees, suppose you need money for that, so what you'll do, you'll go to the ATM machine and you will take out money. Okay, so this money will get withdrawn from the bank. Then you'll give this money to the shopkeeper from whom you are purchasing Rakhis. Okay, so this money will get transferred from one person to another person. Now this shopkeeper may give that money to a fruit seller from whom he may wants to purchase fruits. So this money again got transferred, and again this fruit seller may go to the medical shop to buy some medicines, so again this money got transferred. Now this medical shop owner may give that money to the wholesale person from whom he is purchasing medicines. and at last it may happen this money can travel further also, but it may happen that this wholesaler may deposit this money back into the bank. So what money is withdrawn from the bank and the time when this money is returning back to the bank, there is lot of gap between that. Okay, so during that time you can say that bank is not having that money with itself. Now what bank will do if bank is having that money? Okay, so this is all we are going to study today. So our today's topic is loan activities of bank. Okay students, bank can give loan. Remember, bank can give loan to the needy person only when bank is having sufficient funds with him. Now here there are some very important facts. As you can see, first of all, you can see in this picture there is one borrowers are there and depositors are there. Okay, so these are some people who are depositors. They want to deposit their money into the bank. Now why do they want to deposit? Because their money is safe over here and bank will return their money whenever they want. So you can say it's a kind of demand deposits. Demand deposits means they are depositing and whenever they want they can get it back. So depositors are depositing money into the bank and whenever they want they can take it out. For example, ATM, you know very well, ATM machines, anytime money. Okay, or actually its name is automatic tabulator machine. So with help of ATM or directly going to the bank, they can withdraw the money whatever they want. Okay, so first thing is that they deposit money into the bank, then they keep this money into the bank as long as they don't need it. During that time, what happens that whatever money bank is having, bank lends that money to third person. Okay, borrowers, and these borrowers pay back this money with interest. Very important point to be noted over here, that borrowers pay back this money with interest. Now suppose they deposited 1 lakh rupees. Now this 1 lakh rupees bank lended to borrowers at 10% interest. So 10% interest is 10,000. So now this borrower will return this money with interest, that is 1,10,000. So bank took 1 lakh and bank earned 1,10,000. Now what bank will do? Bank will keep a part of interest with itself, for example 2,000, and remaining 8,000 bank can return back to the depositors. So depositors are depositing their money into the bank. Okay, and then in return they are getting their money back with interest, but that is after a certain time period. Okay, if I deposit my money today and tomorrow if I go to withdraw my money, I'm not going to receive any kind of interest. I'll get interest only when I will deposit my money for a minimum time of period. Okay, so when depositors see that when they are depositing money into the bank and they are getting good interest or return on it, so definitely they will get motivated and they will try to not to withdraw that money frequently. They will try to keep that money with the bank as long as possible. So bank can give loan to the needy person or to the borrowers only when bank is having sufficient funds. And when bank will have sufficient funds, when people will instead of withdrawing the money, what will they do? They will keep this money with the bank. Okay, so they have to keep money with the bank. In both of their hands you can see there are some notes, and these notes have physical form. Okay, now let us talk out of the context what is not given in the book, just for general knowledge. Basically it is given that today nowadays we can see that we are doing transactions in form of digital payments. So in digital payments, suppose if they both are having phones, mobile phones in the hand, and if he is depositing this money electronically or digitally to this person, so what happened? Points are simply getting transferred. You can say money in form of points. So points are simply getting transferred from one person to another person and from bank to another person. So the physical form of money, the money is actually with the bank, the money is in the account of holders. Okay, they are not withdrawing that money. That money is in the account, and the money, when the money is in the account, what does it mean? When money is in the account, it means that money is with the bank 24 hours. The money is with the bank because the money is getting transferred, points are getting transferred from one account to another account. So the full time money is with the bank. Now the bank is having more points with them. Now bank can easily avail funds and loans to the needy people. I hope you are able to understand what are we discussing about. Now if I talk about the theory which is given in the book, so that is loan activities of bank. Now what do, your point is very good, that is what do banks do with the deposits they accepted from the public? A very good question is there. When bank get this deposit from the depositors, what does bank do? Bank give this money to the borrower. But one question comes to our mind. Suppose today I deposited this 1 lakh rupees in the bank, and if bank had given this 1 lakh rupees to some borrower, say for 2 months, okay, now after 1 week if I go to the bank to withdraw my money, bank may not be able to give back my money to me. The reason is very simple, because bank lended my money to someone else. Okay, but I had opened a saving bank account. Now in saving bank account means demand. As I demand, I will get back my money. So I had given my money, okay, and after 1 week I want it back, but bank gave my money to someone else for 2 months. Now there is an agreement. Bank cannot ask money from this person before 2 months. So now the problem is here. Okay, I can fight with the bank, I want my money back, but unfortunately bank is not having that money. But here there is one solution. Only one person is not depositing money into the bank. Okay, there are many people who are depositing money into the bank. Everyone is not running to the bank to withdraw their money. This is also one interesting fact. Now one more interesting fact is, there is an interesting mechanism at here. Bank keeps, as we discussed, bank keeps only a small portion of their deposits as cash with themselves. Bank keeps only a small portion. For example, if I deposited 1 lakh rupees here, if I deposited 1 lakh rupees, so bank will keep only, you can say, 15,000 rupees, and remaining 85,000 bank will lend that money to needy person at interest, at some interest. Okay, now why bank is holding only 15,000? Because bank is expecting that if I will ask for the money, I will ask how much? 15,000. Now why bank is expecting that I will not ask for my full 1 lakh, I will ask only for 15,000? It's an statistics. Bank studies the behavior of depositors. Okay, bank does not focus on each and every person, but they take out an statistics, they take out an average, because many people are depositing. Some of them, or you can say 50% people of them, may be depositing their money and withdrawing after 2 months, 5 months, 1 year, 2 years, but not immediately. But some may be there that as soon as salary comes into their account, the next day or they withdraw their money. Okay, so what happens, there are some people who are withdrawing their money immediately, and there are some people who are depositing their money, but for a long period of time they are not coming back to withdraw their money. So as statistics says, this is actual statistics. Okay, bank in India, here this point is very important, bank in India these days hold about 15% of their deposits as cash. Very interesting point. Bank holds only 15%, so they are expecting that out of 1 lakh only 15% money will be demanded back by the depositor, and remaining 85,000 they will try to hold it with the bank because they will get interest or some benefits on it. Okay, and why they hold 15%? To pay the depositors. To pay the depositors, they keep 15% of money with them. Okay, so these are the things which is given to in the book. Then bank use the major portion of the deposit to extend loans. Whatever we have discussed in this picture, same thing is going on here in the theory. Bank uses major portion, it means the major portion is 85,000. Bank uses major portion, okay, to extend loans, and then use demands of loans for various economic activities. Okay, there are various economic activities. Now our trade is international trade. Okay, now we are not selling goods within our country or within our village or within our city or anything. Now we are selling goods from one countries to another countries. Now there is lot of demand. Okay, there are a lot of business activities, and because demand is you can say too much, so I can't say infinite demand, because demand is very high and our working capacity is low. Okay, as much as you can work, the demand is there, work is there, so obviously a businessman needs money every time. Okay, so due to the same reason, okay, bank is having lot of demand for the loan. So how bank will give loan, how bank will extend loan? By taking money from the depositors. So these are the points which we discussed in this. The other things, bank mediate between those, this point is also good. Okay, if you don't want to use your own language, I prefer that you use bookish language. Bank mediate between those who have surplus funds. See, such a good word. These people are having surplus funds, they are having extra money with them, that's why they are depositing, and those who are in the need of these funds. So these borrowers are in the needs of funds. Then bank charges a higher rate of interest on loan what they offer on deposits, right? So what does it mean? Bank charges a higher rate of interest. Okay, so suppose bank charges 10% interest and they are offering only 8% interest. Now this is a very good example. From these people, borrowers, bank is taking 10% and bank is giving only 8%. It means bank is retaining 2% interest with itself, and with this 2% interest, bank will this money bank will invest in its own growth. Bank will try to open more new institutions, and with that 2% money, bank will help central government. Okay, as you know that our RBI is a control of you can say central government, because governance directly chosen by the central government authorities. So you can say that whatever money bank saves, RBI saves, because you know that all the banks works under RBI, Central Bank of India, Reserve Bank of India. So whatever surplus bank earns, first of all bank tries to avail some other assets or facilities which bank needs. Other than that, banks, RBI, whatever money RBI earns, with that they do some benefit works for the countries, for our country, for example. Okay, so that's all we have studied here. Now there are two different credit situations we have to see here. This situation number 1 and this situation number 2. This is about festival season and this is about Swapna's problem. Let us discuss in this what is discussed here. It is a festival season 2 months from now. Okay, it means after 2 months some festival is coming. You can say Diwali, Holi. And shoe manufacturer Salim has received an order of last trader for 3,000 pairs of shoes. Now this is something very important. One man is there, Salim. Okay, he is a shoe manufacturer and he got order for 3,000 pair of shoes, which is to be delivered in time. This is also very important, delivered in time. To complete production on time, Salim has to hire a few more workers for stitching and pasting work. Okay, because in shoes what do? Sometimes we do stitching and sometimes we pasting, and for this he needs workers. Okay, and if he will call workers, definitely he has to pay them. Okay, so this is one expense. Next is he has to purchase the raw material. This is another very important clause. He has to purchase raw materials. For that also he need money. So to pay the workers he need money, to purchase raw materials he need money. To meet these expenses, Salim obtains loan. Now Salim needs loan from two sources. Now there are two sources. The first one is he may ask the leather supplier to supply leather now and promised to pay him later. So in first case, what he's doing, two different credit situation. In first situation, what he is doing, he is taking raw material on credit. He is not taking money on credit. Otherwise, what Salim can do, Salim can take money on credit from the bank, and with the same money he can go to the market, he can go to the suppliers, and he can purchase raw material. But here Salim is directly contacting to suppliers, and he is asking for raw materials on credit. Okay, so here it is, you can say this is a non-cash transaction. Okay, so now he is able to arrange leather. Now what about payment to the workers? If you want to pay workers, for that definitely he need money, because there is no barter system. Otherwise Salim could say to workers, you come and make shoes, some shoes will sell and some shoes you can take away as your salary. But no, barter system is not allowed. So now he need money. Next, what he does, he obtains loan in cash. Now he is obtaining loan in cash from the large traders, or you can say bankers, as advance payment for 1000 pair of shoes. Okay, so yeah, that's very good point. Here the thing is changed from a trader. He can ask some advance from in cash from traders. The person from he took order of 3000 pairs, so he is asking for advance payment of 1000 pair of shoes with a promise to deliver the whole trade by the end of month. So whatever advance he is getting from that person, with that he can pay salary to the workers. Otherwise he can take loan, because we have to discuss two different credit situations. Okay, so actually here he is taking advance, but not as a kind of a credit. So he can take credit from bank also to pay off their salary. At the end of the month, Salim is able to deliver the order and make a good profit. Salim made a good profit. He manufactured all 3000 shoes, and he delivered this consignment to the person who was purchasing on time, and he earned a good profit and repay the money that he had borrowed. So whatever he borrowed, he was able to repay. Okay, you can say from leather supplier, he took leather raw material on credit, so he might have definitely he must have been given back money to the leather supplier. Okay, and suppose if he had taken money from the bank, so he must have returned that money to the bank also. Okay, so this is the story of Salim in a festival season. He did like this. Now next is Swapna's problem. As you can see, she is Swapna and she seems to be a farmer. Okay, she is because she is engaged in some activities of planting these things. Okay, so Swapna, small farmer, grows groundnut on her 3 acres of land. Important point, she is having a 3 acres of land. She takes a loan from the moneylender to meet the expenses of cultivation in order to grow, or you can say sow groundnut, and to keep on you can say I think she needs insecticides, pesticides, manures and many other things to look after the crop. So she must have taken money from that, hoping that her harvest would help repay the loan. Okay, harvest would help in repaying the loan. Harvest. Okay, she is hoping that everything will be fine, weather will be fine. Okay, and on the time she will reap the crop, and she'll take out all the groundnuts and she'll sell it in the market. She'll earn a good profit in market. When she'll go to sell, she may get a good money for the crop, and she'll, just like Salim, she will also repay her loan, and with the remaining profit she will do something good for her family. Midway through the season, the crop is hit by pests. The crop is hit by pests. Pest means insects. The crop is hit by insects and the crop fails. Okay, insects made some loss to the crop. Though Sapna sprays her crops. Now what is Sapna doing? She sprayed some chemical insecticides, pesticides, with expensive pesticides. It makes little difference. Unfortunately, it makes little difference. Okay, she was not able to eliminate all the pest, right? Little difference was there. Anyhow, she is unable to repay the moneylender. Now she is unable to repay moneylender because a big portion of her crop got destroyed by the attack of pests, and the debt grows over. Okay, because she is unable to repay, but with the lapse of time, her interest on borrowing was increasing, so her debt grows over. Next year, Swapna takes a fresh loan for cultivation. Now next year she took one more loan. She was already having one loan, but no choice, she took one more loan. It is a normal crop this year, okay, but the earnings are not enough. Next year she had a normal crop, but the earnings are not enough. It means in the market she did not get, okay, up to mark price for her crop. So what happened, whatever she earned, she was not able to repay her previous loan. She might have been able to pay her current loan, but she was not able to pay her previous loan. So in lieu of that, what she had to do, she has to sell a part of land. Finally, whatever asset she was having, she had to sell that land. So unfortunately, we were discussing about two credit situations, but see, we have seen story of two people. Okay, now here Salim tried to to take raw material on credit and to pay salary to workers. Salim took some advance from the person from he took this who he received this order consignment. Okay, so with that only he tried to manage. He did not borrow money from outside. If we talk about Swapna, what Swapna did, Swapna took money from money lenders, or you can say banks, and day by day her loan keep on growing. It kept on increasing, and finally she was not able to pay and she had to sell over her assets. So this is all what we discussed in two different credit situations. So dear students, this is all for today. Okay, read these, okay, think about it and try to correlate it with the people who are working around you and make your notes. See you.